Hi guys, I'm Shmi. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel where today you join me in a studio just outside of Munich to take a look at this. BMW's vision for the future, BMW M's vision for the future. This is their new concept called the Vision M Next. It features some design elements that have come from the past, the likes of the BMW E25 Turbo back in the early 70s, the M1, even the more recent i8. I'm going to show you around it. We're going to have an exclusive first look, a full walk around at their new introduction. So let's check it out then, the new BMW Vision M Next. Check this out then, let's go for a first look and start off with a walk around of the new BMW concept, the Vision M Next. M is one of the most significant letters in the automotive world, and this is an insight into the future. The M Next, an idea of what we might be seeing on the roads before too long. So launched as a concept, this is the first opportunity to discover it, but you can see some very familiar BMW design elements, for example, the dual kidney grills with a new style to them, the Hofmeister kink style that you have here, although now moved away from the glass to being on the bodywork, but also design elements that come from some very important BMW models in the past, the likes of the Turbo, the M1 that you can see distinctly through these slats on the rear deck, but also the shape of those tail lights, the laser wire lights that are distinctly in the same layout. I'll get more onto that later on as well and take a better look at the interior. We'll talk about the hybrid powertrain that it's running as well, but the inside is a very exciting place to see. So let me come round where the door is open up to show you inside there. It's very smooth bodywork but sporty when you look at the lines, no unnecessarily lines. You've got this blocking colorway with the two different colors, the orange named Thrilling Orange with the cast silver satin metallic paintwork as well. That links back actually to the Turbo in 1972. Come through, take a look at this. Imagine driving in cars like this in the future. A very low seating position, memory foam seats as well, the touches, the straight line that you can see through the seat, the steering wheel, not quite a wheel, more a pod that you hold on to, and then a triple layer display, a focused display with your driving modes there at the top, the screens here, the glass screens with projected data that can show you different driving modes, and also a head-up display out in front of that. This thing has a lot of clever and trick stuff going on. But concepts allow companies, in this case BMW, to think about what they might want to do for the future and give an insight. So this car is built around a 4-cylinder engine coupled to 2 electric motors. It will have 100 kilometers of electric range, do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. Not exactly a slouch at all. Of course, thanks to the all-wheel drive setup that you get as a result of that and the very clean and aerodynamically efficient bodywork that you have around. But the design of it, this is what I really like. This touch is almost straight off the M1, the style that it has coming down the back. The M1 launched in 1978. The rear deck as well, the way you have those glass, they are actually literally glass on this. You can see straight through to the cockpit as well. But the styling of them, the way it gives you this V, this wedge, which is also accentuated by the wheels. 22-inch wheels at the rear, 21-inch wheels at the front. I'll show you that design in a second. But around the back, this laser wire, this is really, really clever. And the shape of it, the way it encompasses the BMW logo as well there on either side, is very reminiscent to how it was when the Turbo launched and also how it was on the M1, where you had that line, which was almost the bodywork around the outside, but in this case, right there around the back of the car as well. If you look lower though, there is also a lot of aero. Look how open this is. You have these openings right behind the tyres, the diffuser with its extra layer here, you can see straight through towards the floor, those gigantic veins as well. If we come round to the side, check out this. Check out how open it is going through towards the back of the car. You can see some of the supports for the rear wheel system back there. If we come around towards the front as well, you've got the curtain around the side. Of course, this is allowing airflow around, but the front of the car is actually fairly closed up compared to what we're used to. And these grills, one really clever thing, have a look at them at the moment. Check out this up closer. It's kind of a minimalistic style of the BMW logo on repeat. Clever, hey? I like that a lot. They're closed up, illuminated. In fact, most of the front is closed up as we can see it here, but you've got airflow that can come through there, also up out of the front, or the back I should say, of the bonnet as well, to come up and over the car. You also notice no door mirrors, cameras which give the image projected on the head-up display on the inside. How cool is that? The headlights as well, also laser wire, very, very narrow. And where you normally have BMW's traditional twin lights side by side, in this case, they're one above the other, sitting right at the extremities, the width of the car, also higher than the grille. There's a very, very low front nose, which just gives it that sporty presence. That's an idea. Maybe we'll be seeing this kind of style in future cars as well. You might have noticed is also the material that's used, recycled carbon fibre, lightweight, strong, appropriate for the purpose. This is really cool, isn't it, when you see inside with the doors hinged up, as done on the i8, actually quite a similar style, the way they lift and you step in over the side sill. I also said I'd come back to the wheels. Have a look at this. They call it the 3D architecture. The style and the amount of hollowed out areas of the spokes. Now this is done for a few different reasons. One is for the cooling of the brakes, and the second is for the aerodynamics around the side of the car, which is why you will notice the front 21-inch wheels are open and the rear 22-inch wheels have those extra pieces that close them up, basically to make airflow even smoother coming around. And it's definitely quite a striking colour scheme, having these two different effects. I mean, you have the matte of the thrilling orange with the satin sheen of the silver that you have above. But what's about to happen involves taking a seat inside here. So I'm going to have a special opportunity to very carefully take a seat inside the concept to show you a little bit more about the interior and even those cup holders, because I need to tell you about those. This means then that I have to be incredibly delicate with this. Remember, it is a one-off, the only one of these, the concept, the BMW Vision M Next. And at this moment in time, this is a preview. The car hasn't actually been shown, so I definitely don't want to be damaging anything. So I've got a bit of a process to take a seat inside, but just to show you a little bit more around the interior of the car, the way it's made with the base, the chassis, the frame, the tub of the car, with the seats integrated into that, the memory foam padding that they have, and the materials flowing into the central tunnel as well. You've obviously got a quite wide side sill to step over, and I'll run you through more of the displays and how all of those work as well. And then looking backwards, check out those floating headrests, the way they're styled, coming from the mounting points behind, and the view actually that you have behind those of the glass slats there on the rear deck. That is all very, very cool. And even up onto the roof, you can see the frame as well for the cage over the top of you. So to do this and take a step inside, I need to sit down on the sill and kind of slide into the seat. So let me do this as carefully as I possibly can right now, to take a step inside and then swing my feet inside here to the footwell, where have a look at this. In front of me then, the steering wheel that isn't really a wheel, the controller almost. You have a few buttons here on each side to change the different driving modes, which changes what you see on the various displays that are up in front of me. We'll have a look at those in a second. Check out the dashboard though, the way it disappears over towards the passenger side. It is all about driver focus, and you get that with the center line that you have coming through, also down through the seat as well, going down to the floor, that very much straight line. This is what it's about. And that was actually, again, going back to the Turbo in the 70s, which was the first of the BMWs that had the central console basically pointed and slightly over towards the driver's side, which is something we're very familiar with now on the more modern BMWs. And in this instance, it is all about the driver. Very, very uncluttered. Nothing that you can see over there that kind of distracts you or takes away the focus. Just looking out here, look at the design, the materials, the grab handle here to pull the door down. And then in front of you, you have these displays, 3 different levels, the focus logic, the front level here, a second one, and then the head-up display that you have beyond that with the kind of augmented reality and also the mirror view as well. But this is where you can see drive logic, different modes, the different driving mode we're in, Sport Plus, the suspension settings as well, which are controlled through these buttons. On the next display, you have the central screen. This is all kind of projected into the curved glass that you have, so you can see the rev counter, the percentage of battery charge, the boost. Then over towards the left, you've got the speedometer, the amount of fuel you have left, analysis, track telemetry, some data. And on the right-hand side, you actually have your heart rate, which mine right now is pumping pretty fast, given the excitement of sitting inside this, and also the electrical charge as well, and some other bits of information which can change as you go through the different modes. So these are projected from below into the curved glass, which is really pretty pretty cool. Inside the car, it is a very, very clean finish. There aren't kind of obvious holders and storage. These are all hidden away behind compartments. And then you have these cup holders. Why did I say I had to show you these? Well, the way they actually work is they have gyros inside them, so that when you put your cup of coffee down, it actually won't spill because it will adjust as the car is driving. In theory, I'm not necessarily sure if I would trust that, but have a look around. This is really, really cool. Lovely, lovely, lovely place. And I think in the future, this kind of driving experience is going to be quite a change to the game that we're familiar with. Very, very different from what we know now in terms of how you interact and look at a car. But these touches, the thrilling orange, all very, very, very cool. Now though, the challenge to carefully climb back out. Let's see if I can do this. There we go, push myself out, and we're done. It's all perfect. That's what I was going for. The doors, of course, hinge back down. You touch on this sensor to pop them and release them to open them up. But look around the back of the car, take in some more of the design. This is a really, really cool thing. A concept, the Vision, BMW Vision, the name they often use for their different concepts, following from the i Next. But I was not expecting to see that, the M Next, a future for where M is going. Of course, M recently responsible for the likes of the M2 competition, the M5, the newly launched M8 that I think we're going to be seeing very soon as well. And now this concept, an idea for where sheer driving enjoyment is going to be headed behind the BMW badge from the team in Munich making this. So, a first look then. How special is this? What do you think? Are you excited about some of these ideas? Do you think it's a little bit crazy? Do you like the touches reminiscent of the M1 and the turbo that you're seeing around the rear with the rear deck? Personally, I think it's pretty cool. I've enjoyed coming to take a look and be able to show you around and discover this new car, the BMW Vision M Next. I tell you what though, as we're looking at this right here, it actually feels like it could be closer in production in some form than you might think. Normally a concept is radically crazy and clearly impossible, not necessarily so much the case with this. And if you look at BMW's previous with the i8, that was also pretty crazy and made it into road form in a very concept-like style. But that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this full look, taking in some of the details of this new project, a look and an insight into where the future is going for BMW and BMW M. That is it though for this time. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I appreciate your support an awful lot, and I'll be sure to see you again very soon. Cheers.